Welcome back to Hope at Dawn, right here on Hope TV. We are looking at what's being reported in the dailies, and we do have various papers with us in studio.
Yeah.
And I do have the Daily Nation and the headline, Poll, Hustlers, the most dissatisfied. Cost of living was a major part of the ruling party's successful 2022 campaign, but they are now saying 84%. This is the percentage of Kenyans who believe the current economic conditions have worsened as compared to a year ago. 87% percentage of Kenyans who have cut down on personal expenditure due to the hard times. And they are saying Kenya Kwanza supporters are the most disillusioned with the state of affairs in the country. According to a new opinion poll, the majority citing the high cost of living, unemployment and corruption. This even as President Ruto on Tuesday asked Kenyans to be patient, saying the country was on the right track. And that story is covered on page 7. The same poll actually did rank the cabinet secretaries in terms of their performances, and we have the best performing cabinet secretaries. We have Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki as the best performing. He scored 65%. Then the second was Chief Cabinet Secretary, who is also the Foreign Affairs CS, Musalia Mudavadi, coming in second with 62%. Counterpart Ezekiel Machogu is third with 58%, and then we have tied at position 4 is Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nahumicha and Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen. They both scored 57%. Can you guess the worst performing CS? We have the worst performing CS, and according to this opinion poll,
Yes.
it is none other than the Energy Cabinet Secretary, Davis Chirchir, the worst performing CS, scoring 19%.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's quite low.
Yeah, so according to the class teacher, you should bring your parents. Right, that is in as far as that opinion poll is concerned. Still on the front page,
Yes.
end of oil age, COP22 ends with deal on fossil fuel phase out. Representatives from nearly 200 countries agreed to begin reducing global consumption of fossil fuels to avert the worst of climate change, a first of its kind deal signaling the eventual end of the oil age. That is on page 2. Then back page, hospitals threaten to deny teachers police services. Service providers say they have not been paid despite release of funds. Lawmakers have summoned involved firms to get to the bottom of the problem. And Nyakango's co-accused in fraud case set to take plea in January next year. That is in as far as the 10 individuals who have been charged alongside Controller of Budget Margaret Nyakango have been ordered to appear in court on January 22nd next year for plea taking. Sports, Omala's brother Oluoch out to write own story with Kenya under 18. That you can read on page 38. KPA win Africa Championship opener in Egypt. Man United out of Europe with a whimper. United have lost 12 of their opening 24 games of the season, also ending their defense of League Cup and are 6th in the Premiership. That is the sports pages inside the Daily Nation.
All right, let us take a look at the Standard, and I see the very first story. I think this is just more reason why Davis Chirchir did not really make it to the top.
Yes.
But we see Ruto giving rather some of the measures that need to be taken pertaining the blackouts. We see blackouts, Ruto cracks the whip, and one of the measures is that split transmission line system so that power failure in one part does not affect the entire country. And for more news regarding the measures that were suggested and recommended by President William Ruto, you can look at that story on page 4. And then we also have the very second page, we have the vicious cycle of life up north, where lack of food, water, follow flooding. That is the news that you can also look at in page 2. Also page 3, new bill 6 to allow men to adopt children. Quite an interesting story right there. That is on page 3 of the Standard. And even as I continue to skip through, we have Ruto reads riot act to CSs over embarrassing power outages. More reason. I think Davis can just take a look at these magazines today, these gazettes. He probably will get a lot of recommendations to do better. And page 6, Raila unveils plan to stem revolt in Azimio sparked by talks report. And I see some leaders and experts warn that a split could scuttle the coalition ahead of 2027. Other news, I am Jubilee whip in-house. This is Sabina Shege, that is the nominated MP. She says party no longer belongs to Azimio coalition after their 90-day request to exit was not responded to, a story that you can find on page 7. Moving forward, I see something that is very much in relation to the topic of the day today. Senate stokes sibling rivalry with lower house over the Finance Act. So senators take back to court the question on concurrence before debating bill, and the two houses are also involved in a similar battle before the Supreme Court, a story that you can find on page 8. And maybe when I look at the back page, which is basically the sports, I see it's a lonely walk back to reality, how United worst ever Champions League campaign unfolded. Wale ambao ni mafans wa Manchester United, nadhani hii ni story ambayo kidogo wanahitaji kuiangazia. That is on page 40 of the Standard. And we see that 15 goals Manchester United conceded from 6 matches. And page 39, Aldrin Kibet, the next big thing in Kenyan football. So despite failing to guide Kenya to victory at the Sekafa U18 tournament, Aldrin Kibet clinched Golden Boot Award. Beautiful story that you can find on page 39. And lastly, I see Italian speedster Amos stretches lead in classic rally. Wale ambao ni mafans wa mbio za magari, you can look at page 38. That's on the Standard.
Right. Business Daily. Kenya pawn in China's supremacy agenda. US. Kenya top recipient of BRI investment in Africa. US report faults Kenya for extraditing 45 Taiwan citizens. That you can read front page of the Business Daily. Still on shillings on taxes. Kenyans have slashed expenditure on the importation of motor vehicles by nearly a fifth on the back of increased taxation, weakening shillings and shortage of second-hand revenue shortfall for the taxman. And KQ cancels flights on crew shortage. So national carrier Kenya Airways is facing a cabin crew shortage that has forced it to cancel and delay flights, threatening its revenues over the peak festive season. That's an interesting one there. So you can read that on page 6 of the Business Daily.
Yes, we had to just skip through, even as we now usher in the video of the day. Check this out.